right, here we are. It's time for tunnel meeting number 177. It's January 27th, 2026. And today we're being joined by Tavo, Haley, Kateri, Vanni, Guillermo, and Christina. Thanks all for being here. And as you can see, a little outline of today's meeting agenda, starting off with a couple of mentions and the invisible work hero of the week. And then the bulk of the meeting will be for workgroup updates. We figured it would be a good thing to keep it relatively short, instead of inviting a couple of workgroups only and allowing more time for each of them. Looking at current attendance, not quite sure how well that panned out, but we'll see. The aim was to have about 2-3 minutes per workgroup maximum. And yeah, if there's any time remaining in the slot, we could still either dive deeper or shift to open topics. So we'll see how that goes. Then a quick reminder on what the ambassador program even is and what we're doing. Basically, we're a group of like-minded people that are quite in tune with the mission and vision of SingularityNET and its ecosystem, building towards beneficial AGI. And we do this through a wide range of self-organizing work groups. So if you're interested in helping out, we do have a work group that fits your needs, your talents, and yeah, please hop onto our Discord server. That has a how to join section, which explains how to join. Then a couple of mentions. First one, next week, Monday, 2nd of February at 16 UTC. Let me double check if that's accurate. Yes, 16 UTC. It's time for the workgroup syncing call. Just wanted to quickly call that out. There will be reminders coming your way, potentially even an agenda, but that's currently not in place yet. There's also still a week to go, so that will be fine. Yeah, then a quick update on the discussion session focusing on ecology and sustainability in the AI context. It's got shifted to February 18th at 16 UTC. I imagine the 16 UTC is still accurate. A quick check in the room to make sure that is the case.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, then tomorrow at 17 UTC. There's a BGI working group session, and this session will allow for people that are proposing a work group to pitch their ideas. So that's going to be an interesting one. Well, I'm kind of inclined, Haley, since you're in the room, to ask anything to share about that. Don't have to,
Yeah,
but you can.
thank you. Thanks, Peter. It should be a good session. We have, I think, 9 proposers that are looking to generate discussion around really excellent diversity of topics for the working groups. And so we're going to give a chance to those folks to share a little bit about the working group that they'd like to move forward, some of its specific outcomes, how it relates to builders and building tools for developers and frameworks for building beneficial AI technologies and networks within, and give people a chance to start self-organizing into that workspace. I've been sharing in various contexts lately how increasingly it's clear as we're deploying small pieces of Meta and Hyperon, building hackathons and building some developer community, that we have obviously done at SingularityNET quite a lot of very focused research into AGI, and the development of ASI chain shows how powerfully we're moving on decentralized technologies, but we haven't had the same power, and this is why Ben recognized this and started the summit 2 years ago. We haven't had the same sort of focused, energetic development of systems to ensure or encourage the beneficial aspect to emerge in parallel, or to build a mind shift toward that within these communities. So the closer and faster we go to AGI, the more important it is that we look at these topics as a global community. Of course, I don't need to tell that to everybody here. And really, really build the systems that will help ensure that we get there. We need to be shipping systems of technology, systems of benefit, and systems of decentralization together as a package. So,
Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot. So yeah, just to be sure, that's 17 UTC tomorrow.
correct. Yes.
All right. Yeah, then next on the list is right after today's town hall at 19 UTC. There's a Fetch X space, particularly interesting to the developers among us. This is about Fetch Coder V2. I won't even pretend I know all the details about that session, but it's even forgot the name. It's horrible. The CTO of Fetch, Devon Blyptray, will be on interacting with anybody that joins. So if you're interested, please do join that. And then a final mention on the restructuring and the discussions we're having in the governance workgroup calls. The document outlining a couple of ideas that people have been sharing. We've been discussing that. But it does need more eyes. During today's session, I think we were with about 8 people. It really needs more. And so yeah, if you happen to have the time, please let me see if I can quickly grab the link to put it in chat. But it's yeah, very much open to comments and further ideas. Uh, this screws with my screen sharing.
Are the same ones where we already collected the ideas and we've having discussions, and now with like this who are not being part of the discussion to also add comments just to kind of increase numbers.
Yes,
That
yeah,
content.
basically
Okay.
asynchronous continuation of the discussions.
Is the technically all the 3 sessions now in a sense like discussions ended? And now next step is to look at the, I don't know, we need to aggregate and then results like somehow make like I don't know, survey or give people the options of what directions they want to go, because I think we have like way several directions.
Yeah, very true. We do have quite a bunch of different directions are being suggested. And yeah, pretty much. Well, specifically your idea in that document, Tavo, was um, we were scraping for time and wanted to get it covered, but also didn't want to spend just 2 minutes at your proposal you put in there, and it was relatively lengthy. So that did not get covered today. And it definitely deserves proper coverage. So I think we decided to continue that simply coming Thursday. And then after covering all the input, we do have a dedicated session for prioritizing. So yeah, like you say, puzzling out which directions to follow. And this
We were just
also,
talk-
oh, sorry,
Oh, sorry.
I'll go for it.
No, we were just saying today that one way to proceed might be to look at the similarities and differences between the things that are being suggested and try and isolate like where there are points of difference, and then maybe we can sort of do the prioritizing by looking at what is different, because there are a lot of similarities in the things that people are raising. But it's also because not everybody has jumped in and had a say. So, you know.
Yep. All right. Before shifting to workgroup updates, any questions or comments for now? Because you can. Oh, actually, I'm skipping on the Unseen Work Hero of the Week. So let's have a look at that. We do have 2 submissions. Thank you for putting in these. One for Hogan Tusa, because he sent a Happy New Year greeting, and let me, too many overlays, can't even work here. Okay, bear with me just a second. Need to sort the wrapping. By DM. Okay, there we go. There we go. And what it did was, well, made the person smile because they thought all the Happy New Years were over. Apparently not. And then there's a nomination for Love or Lady Tempest, because she made me laugh several times this week when things felt a little bleak. And this made the person reporting feel supported. Nice. A couple less nominations than last week, but still there's 2. Thanks for putting them in. And also a reminder to, we're going to keep this going. So if you happen to have nominations during the coming week, you can submit them to the form. And thanks a lot, Fanny, for putting that in chat. There is the form where you can actually do this. And maybe just for a bit of context, since this is only the second time we're doing this, the idea here is to basically there's a lot of stuff that is happening in our community, but which is not always recognized. And yeah, this exact form is intended to capture those interactions that are not like paid work or anything, but are helping out. And yeah, so in that sense, invisible work, and to recognize that. Right. Cool. Yeah, then let me remember which button to press to go full screen here. The joys of using Mac and Windows at the same time. There we go. That brings us to the workgroup updates. And yeah, I didn't put out a list of all the workgroups on the slides. So I guess for this part of the call, the slides are not really contributing too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing there. Yeah, well, that also means there's no real structured order. So I figured we could simply go ahead and have people step up and share updates. So if there's anybody that wants to step up and take the lead there, you can.
I can start. I would request screen sharing, and then I have one about ready. And then I just kind of swing through these color codes and share what I remember from last time I updated everybody. I wonder, have I ever shown you in this year the Maro boards yet? In the Ambassador Town Hall, I mean. So this is a new process quilt motherboard. So in here we will be having the knowledge base management, like meeting notes and related documentation. This month had 2 sessions. So uh, right now we made like a new video regarding how do we collect the assets that we been doing on the workshop. And one of the example, just in the call itself, we recognized the what was that? The Zili project that happened, but we never had this like the extra reports that they made not recognized. So one of them was adopted. We went through and then kind of chosen which assets go to the Gitbook, and then we discussed a bit of because throughout this month we have been going in other calls and like getting the idea of can we get the agent built for knowledge base so that we can somehow interact with the way we have organized our information and make it like accessible through like conversation. Yeah, so far, like we understood that R&D, they have their own kind of intention yet, so it's not like direct there. Then I myself on the Process School channel, I shared a bit of like this calendar links, which I'm like testing if Cloud Code can just generate me applications, and it's working. So I'm very surprised. So we're discussing that maybe internally we create an agent that then just takes the documents, but we try to focus to use like AGI things first, like if the APIs work, and if it ever needs like computation power, then we are in a correct ecosystem to be part of that. But yeah, the next time we meet, which is 9th February, we will be then discussing like the advanced Maya mentioned that he has been part of some hackathons that came through, I think, through G funding or somehow related to SingularityNET. And there were some developers who were like showing skills. And so now going back and if they're interested, because we have about 5,000 eggs ready. But if we go it like through vibe coding, it is possible to make some kind of prototype. And at least we can internally use, but maybe not provide as a service, but still have that experience of how to get an agent working that is made in SingularityNet partnerships and then is using our ambassador program, all the Google Docs and assets we have created across the years we have been doing stuff and that is related. Yep, so that's my kind of hope that we get somewhere with this quarter with at least, yeah, getting some kind of prototype status or know where we can start or engage with that. And we have a bit of allocation there and see where with the restructuring gets us. Maybe there will be more like we can bring this focus like more collectively in. So yeah, basically two things covered here and in Treasury Guild and we basically so this some members know we contacted had like a private sessions regarding what to do in GitHub, how to use it, what's the intent there so that we can move on from the dwork, even though dwork will continue to be like supported. But it's really clear that it just saves so much more time if there isn't like this platform permissions blocking you to do stuff or copy pasting is slow and like dwork in general is a bit slower and it's less like convenient to write all the details in just title where in GitHub all the elements are accessible by API. Yeah, so that makes just the communication and data moving data around much easier between us. The next session itself is in 2nd February, and those who have not yet invited Treasury Guild to any of their sessions to describe GitHub, or we haven't had a private session, then you can join this one and we do the onboarding 10 a.m. UTC. Yeah, then we will prepare for the February's main like meeting and kind of get the retrospective of what we achieved and kind of close quarter to prepare for the next one. Yeah, that's I guess it. Thanks for listening.
And thanks for sharing. Just on a personal note, I keep getting more and more interested in the cloud side of things. Not gonna lie there. It's I'm clearly not a dev, but it's just yeah, starting to sparkle some interest there to dive into. But it's such a rabbit hole, but a fun one. So.
I already have a next step that I started to research can I make agent run more than 1 hour, just like, but then I reached to the point where the Anthropic sent me a payment. Okay, you're out of budget, and I didn't know I have a budget, and now I increased my budget. But then I realized, okay, if I make agent to just run in multiple ones to just pull products and ideate themselves, and like just tomorrow I want these features, all of them. Like that's gonna probably cost like $30 to $40 per day. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not willing to pay probably only one, 2 times, but if it's actually doing useful like prototypes and gets like people inspired to see that, okay, we can now describe the tools that we need in our operations and in our activities and just communicate with like with the systems, and everybody can be a system designer once they kind of realize the tools they need, they can describe them. So yeah, we'll see where this year is gonna end up, and probably at some point, maybe if I do get to some kind of scale, or like we'll ask maybe if Kudos can connect it with their computation.
I'm not sure if Good is currently, or ASI Cloud is currently offering cloud as part of the models. But I also did see very interesting. I'm a bit biased towards using Telegram in general, but there was CloudBot, which today got renamed to Moltbot. It doesn't matter, but basically that's a whole interface for interacting with this whole army of sub agents. That's, I don't know, man. It's just mind-blowingly cool, and I want to play with it.
Yeah, I read that today morning. Yeah, so I was doing all that. Okay, how do I do this? And then I'm like, holy shit, there is actually a thing now that does that. But so, yeah, but hopefully it's just a fear of missing out and casual tool still.
Yeah, fair. Well, that's also why I'm interested in this X-Space right after this tunnel to see what Fetch is doing on that side, because clearly they're also all about autonomous agents and the way ASI1 interacts with that. And that would be free on ASI Cloud. So could be potentially interesting there as well. All right. Yeah, let's move on to the next one to share on their work groups. Any volunteers? I can point fingers, but I can even take a turn, actually, on moderators work group. It's a relatively boring update because it's a work group where there's not that much happening outside of Discord server management. But in the light of the restructure and the closer collaboration with BGI and deep funding, I'm starting to feel that there might be space for also doing a bit of work on the like Web3 safety security side of things. It's just, well, it's a thing that's basically since the start, when I joined this whole Web3 thing, so many people getting scammed, and it just does not end. And that's starting to annoy me more and more. But yeah, that's nothing concrete on Moderator's work group. Yeah, so the current plan is to simply keep the Discord management going and taking that from reserves. And I think we should still be good to go for 3 or 4 quarters, if all would stay as is. So yeah, that's I think a concise update from Moderator's work group side. Guillermo, I saw you raising your hand. Wasn't sure if that was like, give me the turn or.
Yeah, why not? I can do the honors for the R&D and LATAM. That's
Cool.
good. Okay, I'm gonna share. There you go. Thank you, mate. Yeah, some screen to have some backup information and with it. So okay, let's start with the R&D. So it's all about B3 governance dashboard as the final Q4 report present roadmap for Q1, Q2. It's already in place. So later on, I've been following with Leandro the development, redesigning, following some open source great stuff that we find around to add. There was some redesign in terms of architecture and and the layout, the branding and all of that we take in consideration pretty much ASI 1 and ASI Cloud Dash to have that strong branding similarity if we scale. And also there's this possibility that we use, why not, SNet Compute. If not, so Haley, that she left the room, she mentioned something the other day. I don't know when that is coming. Remember the community vote, I think more than a year ago, approving some budget for our compute, and that is coming into place. And I don't remember the name of one of the leads for that part of the organization. We will look into that. And let me see what I'm sharing. So yeah, and this is where we are right now. Design roles, categories, and the other important aspect, communication and notification. Integrate notification into our channels. Okay, are we going to do it with our own agents pushing? I don't know. There's a lot of options. Yeah, it's this boom of this cloud. Peter mentioned 2 days ago when I came back from being off grid for a couple of weeks. I know I'm scared. So many people connected to your computer's terminal. It's kind of scary moment for development, and to see the robustness of the internet, decentralized and all of that. Let's see how this is managed. I don't know, but really amazing stuff going on. So we'll try to keep ourselves updated. If not, we will be obsolete in 6 months. So the one trick now is to stay not only going later on to the V2 coder from Fetch, to see Nico and all of the team from Fetch, developers team, to understand more, make some questions, and that. We have learned last year, we built on the stack within R&D and LATAM. We have a strong knowledge by now, but it has been evolving and updating and getting better and better, so we'll see that. And then we'll follow up probably at the end of February with this next 3 steps. But again, we still have a lot to figure out. And also probably we get more support for some of the aspects as we restructure. And as Tivo was mentioning, figure out how we help Process Guild and other guilds to build their own agents. And probably the next, still correlated, LATAM, R&D, and all the stuff I'm going to be updating now. As we have drafted the roadmap for Q1, Q2 lately, and the one big, okay, this is in Spanish. So workshop creating agents. Okay, so we learn how we have hacking last semester, different hacks here, LATAM and worldwide. We did our honors in English, but so we learn a lot how we translate that knowledge not only to our core contributor, core contributors team, to include that, but also to keep expanding and onboarding and creating use case and all of that. So we came up with this pretty simple but complex program that we drafted December. And then we share also, we create an English version, so I can share with you guys kind of the main ideas. So how to create an engine will be what we're going to be trying to develop this quarter, if we agree on. Starting probably next week, or second week of February, let's say. But there's a short description on this one pager. Probably so intro to ASI agents. I can share this folder later on. But again, we're following on last year exercise, what really worked for us. Creating content within the needs of a ASI stack, onboarding, and educating. So we kind of developed this idea of modules, and also kind of play with hacks and see if we can do some pilots on area in a city, or we can do this. I don't know, because there's some ASI stack, the ASI hack potentially going on shortly somewhere around. So how we integrate on that is happening here, is happening somewhere. Okay, how we can play into that. But long story short, the first interaction will end up in deploying your own agent. So a short introduction, set up a workspace. We share this in the BGI 25 hack a little bit in terms of how to design and how to think of the mindset of designing with these tools. Now we're going to go a little bit technical. And again, we're going to keep learning on this.
Is that all in Spanish, or this is?
No. Again, we're going to go, I think we should go bilingual, definitely. But how we build, again, we talked today in governance adaptation, how we keep evolving. So how we make these cohesive strategies within the work groups and guilds in terms of communication. If we have something solid, we should do it, repeat it in different languages. How we do that? Well, it's all things that also we discussed in Q4 while we were bringing these deliverables. So the question, we remember talking about Peter, we should do this, how we do it through the video. Do we close caption the thing and we do like a voiceover, or we do like one in English, one in Spanish, how we do it? So we should discuss that, but definitely for the core contributors and also again for the community. So we need to amplify this. If we work on it, we should have a communication strategy already set up in running in parallel when we put this out. And having that in consideration when designing the program is really important. So we kind of thought in how we will end up the year, So having a specific regional things, because this is kind of specific. But okay, we can adapt. So we have a one-pager, a proposal, and a roadmap, an idea of a roadmap. Let me zoom this out. Okay. So we lay this down per quarters. And again, we will try to do this in parallel with other stuff. And again, we should also be patient for one more week so we don't work, extra, and then we have to trash. So wait and listen to what the organization, foundation-wise, Nexus, and defining how we work on all of this. That's where we are with LATAM. So have been developing the program, also share this around, make some revisions also later on, because we had LATAM Guild meeting later on with Leandro. I don't know if it's going to overlap with this fetch thing. I need to check that out. But if not, we can push it later on. That's where we are. And of course, a lot of potential things that we don't need, they're not even in this one page or on the roadmap, but we have in Q3 or Q4 last year that we have to move on the roadmap or on the timetable, so we can probably have some surprises there. Still waiting for the results of the BNB hack that can be very useful. On all those kind of aspects that we can, I don't know, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening in Q2, so why don't we prepare for that? Which hackathons are going to be happening from Fetch, I don't know, I would really love to have this cross breathing with a innovation lab and Meta, Coder lab, and all those aspects. That we still have. We have a lot of good ideas on the box, so it's okay to have new great ideas. But let's see, if we get practical in the use of resources, the good ones stay on top of the box. So we still have those that we should still encourage and see how we push them. But that's kind of where we are also with LATAM. Probably I'm missing something, so sorry for that.
Hard to say what's missing. I mean, it looks solid.
No, that's one thing missing. And again, thank you, Thibault. And I was missing on sharing a video link prior going to the farm. It changed so dramatically. The farm did a really good job in my creative sense. So we went into conceptual teaser. So yeah, I'll be sharing shortly. So it wasn't on my scope, so it's extra, invisible job as we call it. So no pressure. We'll set the time for that. So yeah, cool stuff. I share it internally. That means with my wife, and she likes it. So I'll be sharing that later on. Okay. But yeah, but at the end of the thing, if you guys still around, we can share some screen and do that. Okay.
Yeah, cool. And just to latch on to what you were mentioning about the BNB hack. So basically, in this whole conversation around working more closely together with deep funding and BGI, a bit of a unnamed but also somewhat entity-like thing is kind of this pillar of all our current hackathon efforts. Which would ideally also get supported by Deep, by BGI, by us, so that there will be plenty of room for supporting hackathon events, both physical and virtual.
Yeah, I wonder. I think the hackathons are gonna be totally different this year, considering like the toolings people have. Like almost everybody can now be a full stack developer. Now it's more about like the team and the experiences people have, and the knowledge of what's possible is more important. So maybe the hackathons requires a bit more like facilitation and different types of thinking, and that allows us to expand on like scaling the teams themselves, and maybe driving that kind of, hey, let's take a member from there, member from there, and member from there, and like gamify it, because you kind of know that results are like possible. Like what are the problems that all these networks have in common, and then focus on these problems, not the problems that they are in themselves working on. But yeah, anyway, that's I just realized, like, because you also showed the Buenos Aires there, I think the Cardano is also having like a big thing, and all the LATAM gang, the Morolia and Lucas and Pedro and everybody who's there, like, and now you are there. So, and you also said you had like a connection with the DX pipe. So maybe having Cardano like hackathons are related to what we are building here, because you can just say, hey, use Asia stack to connect with your chain. You want TRAP stuff. You cannot like just need to get the team together, a trust together, because yeah, I wonder this is gonna be also an exit run for a lot of people who are capable of securing funds. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's very accurate. You could almost simply, as one person, show up with a full team of agents producing like what a three years ago, let's say, at an hackathon would be like a full outcome. It's just do it, please, and it's there. Well, a bit later, clearly, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna jump in, but that's how it looks like. Okay, but when you go into the kitchen and cook, it's not. Yeah, when you need to build up a security framework behind whatever nice, front end Vercel can put together. Yeah, it's things working on the back end, and also. But I agree, definitely. business model, scaling the idea, conceptual idea. So yeah, ideas become crucial. Knowledge is it's open. But how to handle open source, I think it's have been really great this last Q4. Just searching around so many great projects we can use. I think the most amazing thing that this have triggered is open source, because whoever can build it. So open source is like boom, 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 and all we have been thinking and building and conceptualizing and pushing is coming. Is amazing. So hacks, but also hacks and probably. I don't know yet, but Tigo, definitely a lot of things to do, but not only here. I think, and again, Innovation Lab also integration not only within Nexus or deep funding, because we have already been for the last couple of years. A lot of us working and helping in there, in deep funding, being part of different friend circles, or helping Nexus or participating here. I think also is one of our challenge. It's to integrate and collaborate more with Fetch and Kudos. How we become. I think we have become kind of important in bringing some good stuff. We are the lab, with 100,000% decentralized. We have failed, and we're still here. And we have brought some cool stuff. So yeah. And hacks, let's see where we are by the end of this year. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty confident there will be at least 4 hackathons this year from SingularityNET/ASI side. So plenty
That's
of
a lot.
playground. And yeah, I do think there's a big opportunity for us, in the wider view of BGI and deep funding to support these hackathon initiatives, basically. Again, there I'm a bit, I don't know. I feel these local events are perfect for evolving the local community, but it's just terrible to be flying people to places. Like, if anything, looking back at the last couple of years, what we did, that feels like something we should not be spending any of our funds at. Sorry, complete sidetrack. Yeah. Just broadly speaking, there will be way more opportunities if we are to be closer connecting with both BGI and deep funding and hackathons. But
Just wondering, are these hackathons, none of them virtual?
well, we had the India one. We had I think the B&B hack was, but that was India actually.
Oh, B&B, you mean?
Yeah.
B&B? No, B&B was online, like Colossus with the one we ASI did with Colossus. That was second Q4, I think. Although it was online, the ones that what Singularity push, I think it was India hackathon with universities, with Beyond the Code, with Beyond the Code team. Yeah, and the one we did in Africa also.
Yeah. And deep funding did the Nigeria one.
And deep funding did the December Nigeria one, right?
Yep. Not slowing down, at least.
Okay, so and the virtual ones are like working, so people are coming together and spending a lot of time and resulting.
Well, I think I'd have to look up the exact numbers. It did come with some actual working stuff in Meta. That's pretty much the outcome level. Not game breaking. Next level products. I mean, you would have heard about them if they were that. Yeah. But the networks there are crazy. Like I know for the India one, I think there's now a database of like 900 Indian devs that are interested in the tech, or at least say they are interested. Like that, you never really know.
And there was this really cool project from India that participated in BGI 25. Really good commercial business model background, integrating Meta. I don't know how beneficial, because beneficial we go into this, but it was because it was hardcore, commercial aspects on it. But it did. But it's hard to integrate all of them in one piece of software. From I don't know 15 proposals we have in BGI 25, there was only 3 proposals that really integrated all our stack, or have some really work and functional. That really succeed the level of being a mock-up. Okay. But still, there was some great ideas that needed more time. So yeah, hack, it's all about timing. If they have like 2 or 3 days, and you need to have nothing on your table, probably, or yeah, I don't know.
Just looking at the clock and noticing Fanny sending a reminder about the time there. Slot us 3.5 more minutes on it, and I'm not sure if that's really gonna fit in, Fanny, with an update from 3 groups, being governance, ethics, and archives. Would you mind giving it a go? I don't think it's a super big problem if we go over a little bit.
Okay. I mean,
Ethics.
yeah, let's just do archives. Yeah, so sorry, just a sec.
No problem. I guess I can give a little on governance. Or is it really just a sec or a multi-minute sec?
It's fine. Yeah, I'll add it to the unsung work hero for prepping it and not delivering it. That's fine. Yeah, so Archives Work Group, our main focus this quarter is going to be troubleshooting and migrating the Archives dashboard that we've been working on to a new interface. So we have made a start, which some of you will have seen in work group sessions, but we just need to get it into a more robust state, really. So it'd be kind of with the objective of implementing some of the features that we prototyped kind of last quarter. Let me just drop a link to that. And yeah, we're kind of thinking about a dashboard that integrates meeting summary submission and the archive itself. So getting that off Gitbook and some kind of a knowledge graph interface and maybe a decision tracker as well. So yeah, we're working on what we want it to actually look like and what we want it to include, and also how to make it as generic as we can, because we're thinking it's time we all started developing stuff that would be applicable outside of the ambassador program. So we're thinking about that modularity and composability approach. And we also want to integrate everything that we've learned as a community over the last couple of years about kind of what makes a good meeting summary and how to help people to summarize. Because if there's one thing that we've learnt, it's that record keeping is difficult for communities. And so we need to look at not only how can AI mitigate that and how can a knowledge graph mitigate that, but also how can we help people to capture the essentials and not get bogged down. But for now, things are going to continue as they are with the current meeting summary tools. So that's all good. But yeah, that's what we're kind of looking at as a focus for this quarter, which we've planned for quite a while. And we're also just looking at the status of our Gitbook content and how far it's migratable. So yeah, we're only going to have probably one meeting this quarter, and we haven't decided exactly when it's going to be. So now looking at the time, I think we've better leave it there.
Yeah, fair. Thanks. Yeah, I do
I'm
think
just
it's some of
seeing
the
you going. We can go over. It's all right. I can say really briefly, just so it's on the recording, what we've got for governance and AI ethics. So yeah, as we said earlier in the session, governance meetings this quarter have been working on thrashing through those 2 ideation docs. And we hopefully have a session with John Grove, who I think is technically community lead at the foundation. Is that right, Peter? And that'll be next Tuesday
No, that's my role.
Oh, I thought, right, okay.
He's on the operations.
He's on the
side of things.
operations side, right. I thought you were community lead at the ambassador program and he was it for the foundation as a whole. But anyway, he hopefully will have some input about how the foundation is thinking about the future of, yeah, the various bits of work and areas and of the ecosystem. We also now have a GitHub board, which we've not done before. We've never found it particularly useful, but I think we will do now. And thanks to you, Tevo, it means that we hopefully will be able to process task payments without resorting to DWork, which, although a lovely tool, is no longer really being officially maintained. So it's kind of good to future-proof ourselves by getting ourselves off it. And we've also been discussing quite a lot how we reward things like the invisible work hero that we showed earlier and kind of active meeting participation. We've been thinking a lot about the difference between sitting in a meeting and participating in it. So we'll be tracking those things, and it feels like it's on the edge of being a contribution system. So I think that ties in with an awful lot of the thinking that has been going on elsewhere. And it feels, Guillermo, like that and the archives stuff kind of feeds into what R&D is doing. And then, yeah, just really briefly on AI ethics, we're focusing on transcription tasks this quarter, and some early birds have already finished the tasks they've been assigned, but you know, the deadline will be the end of February. We have a session coming up on qualitative coding on Friday the 30th. Now, that's nothing to do with code. This is a qualitative research methodology and a way of analysing data from qualitative research. So if anyone's interested in that, we'll be posting a link for it soon. Do come and join us. And then with the help of Tina, who's in the room, we're running a session on Wednesday the 18th on AI and ecological sustainability. So we're planning, I think, 3 breakout rooms, and they will cover, first of all, the question of who governs AI sustainability and AGI sustainability, given that the impacts are planetary and global, who has the right to say? Secondly, AI sustainability and the environmental cost of AI. So probably one for the devs, that what's the environmental cost of what you're doing and how do you minimize it or improve it? And thirdly, AI as an actual tool for environmental repair and addressing decentralized concerns about the environment. You know, everything from using AI in water stewardship and biodiversity mapping to who actually defines those aligned values in a culturally diverse world. And also our next work group meeting itself is Monday the 2nd. So come along if you're interested.
Awesome. Thanks for squishing that in. It worked out quite fine, I think. I kind of think that's a wrap, right? I'm just checking out that space that's did get started. So yeah, I'm gonna swiftly move over there shortly. I have this feeling I'm forgetting to call out something, but I'm not sure what it would be. So if it comes back to me, then I'll make noise about it. But I think for now we're good. Final check on the room.
Bye.
Yeah, fair
Thanks, Peter.
thank you for sharing. Without that, there's no updates to share. So
No, come on. A lot going on. I'm going to jump to the space. Later, guys. Ciao.
have a nice remainder of your Tuesday, and see you on the next one.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers.